You know, I think I'm gonna vlog from here from now on. I kind of like this area. I kind of like being able to actually face the camera. Of course, to be honest, what I really like about this area right now is the proximity of the Girl Scout cookies. Yeah. Yeah. You want to be me right now. So you guys probably don't know this, but March is National Music in Our Schools Month, or something like that. I may not have gotten the name exactly right, but it's something along those lines. Now most of you probably do know that I went to college for music education, and being a music teacher is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And so obviously, keeping music in the schools is a big deal for me, both because it'll help me keep a job, and also because I think it's very important. And so in that spirit, for the next 3 days, the charities I'm going to plug are all going to have to do with music in the schools, and music in general, and the arts in general, that sort of thing. And so today's charity is going to be VH1 Save the Music, which is one of the 2 charities that I plugged on Vlog Driver. It was also plugged by Paige, Hope on a 10-speed by way of Fall of Autumn Distro, and Ninja Piano, Nina of the Moaning Myrtles. All 3 of us are musicians, and we all, of course, believe very strongly in this issue. And so I am going to give $25 to this organization. Most of you probably know what VH1 Save the Music does. It provides money to music programs that don't receive a lot of funding. If you want more information or if you want to donate yourself, I'll put a link in the sidebar. So, now on to today's book review. Today I am reviewing Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. Now, many of you have probably read this book in elementary school because it is a Newbery Award winner. And Newbery Award winning books are like the bread and butter of elementary reading classes. The book takes place in Denmark in the midst of World War II. The year is 1943, right about the time when the Jews were about to be relocated by the Germans. That was their word for it, their euphemism for it. And in Denmark there was a resistance movement which smuggled many of those Danish Jews up to Sweden for the duration of the war. This book is about a 10-year-old girl named Anne-Marie and her part in this resistance movement. And it's basically what she witnesses from a child's point of view, what she witnesses during this very frightening time. One of the themes that runs through this book is just this sense of mystery, this sense of not knowing. Especially for Anne-Marie because she's a child and the adults obviously want to protect her from the very harsh truth of what is going on out there. One of the ways in which Lois Lowry portrays this is that many of the chapter titles, in fact most of them of the first half of the novel, are questions. Because there were so many questions that were floating around, not just for the child Anne-Marie, but just all over the place. And what we see is just a very brief portrait of that time. Kind of a snapshot. I love historical fiction novels. I always have, ever since I've read this book, I think. I think this was one of the first historical fiction novels I ever read, and I have loved historical fiction ever since. I've always been fascinated by how history is so incredibly relevant to this day and age, because themes echo through time, and it's fascinating to see how little some things change. So many of the themes that are presented in this book are incredibly relevant today. And Lois Lowry does a masterful job of highlighting those themes without shoving them down your throat. There are moments when I think that she crammed too much story into too little space, but they are not quite as obvious as they were in The Slave Dancer. I still think it's an excellent book that both children and adults should read, and it really is the book that got me started really liking historical fiction novels, so it remains on my favorites list. And the next book on my favorites list is quite possibly my favorite book of all time, The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. I have actually already done a review of this on Vlog Driver. If you would like to see it, I will link it here. But I will be reviewing it again and hopefully talking about different things next time. I will see you then. Bye. This is gonna take a while. 3. Hate that clock.